Good afternoon, everyone. This is Prashant Menon here, editor for CXO Experts. Today, I have with me Mr. Neehar Pathare, CEO, MD, and CIO of 63SATS Cybertech. Welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Misha.
So, getting on to the first question, and today's buzzword AI. So, with the cybersecurity domain where, your expertise lies, and the constant conversation that I hear at most of the boardrooms and the seniors that I talk to is about AI versus AI, and especially when it comes to the purview of cybersecurity. So, what is your opinion? How to tackle? How will the things roll out in the coming span of days?
Well, AI actually took us by storm, everyone. The initial AI that we used was chatbots, and this enabled us to have a very nice Alexa type of experience.
Correct.
Yeah, within the whole organization or customer facing chatbots. A lot of manpower load was taken on. But suddenly you had ChatGPT coming, Claude coming, DeepSeek coming. Each one is getting better day by day. The recent launch just 2 days back, which was announced by Apple, the new series is going to be powered by Google Gemini. Yeah, so you see a lot of collaboration happening. At the same time, the AI tools are getting exploited by the hackers. They are not sitting idle. Here, you, as a security professional, you not only protect an organization, but you do all your day-to-day tasks. Right? But for a hacker, using these tools is 24 by 7, they are doing only breach. Yeah, so they have time and they have resources. While you might have the resources, you would not have the time to do it.
Correct.
So there are two ways to do it. AI cannot be controlled, or the speed at which it attacks cannot be monitored by humans. So in our SOC also, we have a 50-seater SOC in which we have built a cyber ops layer which is having 66 agents. Oh, and this look after an AI attack and take decisions for my SOC team who was earlier managing each alert, and it should take around 15-20 minutes for analysts to actually check out what if it's a false positive or it's truly an attack, if there's a link between the SIM and SOAR. This layer is now required for you to protect against an AI attack. Correct. And these attacks are now increasing. Our traditional hardware, it's your firewalls, your web servers, actually cannot look into an AI-based attack. If you see 80% of attacks which are happening on breaches, out of which we say around 45 to 50% are AI-based. So you can understand the load. And officially, just last week, the traffic on the internet, first time in the history, more than 50% traffic is now grown by bots. Wow. So you can see the scale at which this is happening. So AI has to be countered with AI. Machine speed cannot be done humanly possible. So this is the new way the world is going to change. And this is where we help companies build, not only protect their defenses on AI attack, but also a lot of companies are implementing AI in their organizations. And we need to put in guardrails.
Correct.
No security tools again cannot deploy what information to go to whom. So context is very important. Correct. A famous case of a receptionist finding the CEO's salary by using the right prompts.
Yeah.
Asking that we would like to have another CEO, which would be on the same package. And this is how you manipulate the AI deployment. So we put right guardrails. So there are two ways, not only the external world, but internally also you need protection as you are going to deploy larger projects. So AI versus AI is the only way forward.
Correct. I also agree with this concept where like AI is needed to protect against the AI threats. But in when it comes to enterprise and the boardroom discussions, one discussion another that happens related to zero trust security. So, what will be the role of AI in actually enabling the zero trust ecosystem?
Well, you have to get down to grassroots. In our cybersecurity world, we say only coordinate trust. Rest, everyone has to be identified or authenticated. So now, zero trust should be by design. In the core architecture of your foundation of your security policies, your software development policies, your thought process should be zero trust right from the base. It is not a cushion layer of security that you implement in the last. It has to be embedded in whatever you do.
Right.
Yeah, and this is how the architecture will flow. And this, with the right AI tools, you will be able to succeed.
So it will be more of agentic AIs, or it will be like a different version
Agentic is the way forward now.
going
Going
forward.
forward.
Okay. So going on to the next paradigm where when we to see like even Indian government
Yes.
to has taken certain policies into place, especially the DPDP Act, which was rolled out some time ago. So, when as a business owner, also from your perspective, is this a threat or is it a business opportunity?
Ah, so for India, which was never compliant with privacy data,
Correct.
yeah, uh, the same companies which sold or had offices in Europe had to comply with GDPR, but at the same time in India it was very lax. We have been waiting for a policy for such a long time. And Sri Krishna reports they studied the China policy, the Europe policy, and the US policy, and that is what derived made our policy one of the best policies. But when you look at a larger policy and a scale like India, are companies prepared? Not at all. Yeah, we are now talking with a lot of BFSI clients who have a deadline by next year,
Yes.
not even 365 days left, that they have to be compliant to this, or the fines go up to 250 crore rupees. This means that if you're not compliant, you will be wiped out from your business. So here, what we say that AI, your DPDP is a must that you have. It's a business opportunity, as like all new technologies which come.
Correct.
But this comes as an act. This comes as a law. It has to be binding. It is not something like a ISO, the standard that it's a good to have. That I am certified ISO 27000. This is something that can get you arrested. Or the seriousness of this is very, very high. So this is, yes, of course, a business opportunity for cybersecurity companies. But at the same time, a lot of companies who fall under the gamut of DPDP have serious thinking to do because it's only 1 year of time left. And that is where we come in with a very strong force. We offer virtual data protection office service because everyone cannot have a new CXO role as a DPO.
Correct. Correct.
So we offer those services like with our VCSO, we also started VDP.
Okay. Fantastic. So, but I understand what you're saying. Like, it is a mandatory thing. It
Right.
has to be there. It was needed much before and only, but now that we are having it. But then when it comes to a lot of banks
Right.
and especially the BFSI segment, a lot of them still operating silos. And to actually enforce such a huge scale of operation within less than 365 days in hand, let's say, for example, taking one of the largest Indian banks, PSU Bank,
Correct.
which has more than 5 lakh crore accounts. Is this actually going to happen by then? Or what is their way out?
It's how early you start and how much of your homework is done. So if you see the base of DPDP is the personal private data of customers and your own employees to an extent that you store within yourself and you don't hand it over. And you do not know over these years because the example which you gave has been digitized for very long time and you do not know where this data resides. So first important thing is to have someone do an assessment of the entire organization and see. This is the famous Japanese warehousing uh, concept that warehouse in Japan are not vertical, they are horizontal.
Okay.
If you can't see it, you cannot take an action. Yeah? So
Correct.
you need to actually see where this personal data resides. Once you see that, then you know which is not required, which could be taken ages back as a part of a form which got digitized and no one put methodology on that. They just scanned the whole form which was required at that time. Now it is not required. And that data needs to be removed. And then have a policy in which how you're going to take this data forward and how you're going to protect, encrypt at the right places, decrypt with the right tools and technology, have consent of people. We have consent managers that we deploy, where now individual consent of all these 5 crore people that we're saying has to be taken, saying that I consent giving my data to this person. At the same time, this data will not be given or shared by that bank to someone else. And if it is a vendor which is required, the consent will say that some of our work is outsourced to this vendor. This so the data of this will go to them. And the consent is very important in the entire thing. And what we also see, because this is a legal thing, we have tied up with Pawan Dugal Associates, who is India's largest cyber lawyer. And with him, they look after the legal part, and we look after the assessment and deployment of DPDP. Together, once we do an assessment, they legally certified, which can be held in the court of law, saying that these guys are legally compliant for DPDP. So this is the entire journey in short that I will tell you.
It looks like there are a lot of milestones that needs to be covered. So, so having said that, like Indian government is taking the right steps. But when it comes to India and its budget for AI, what are your views on that?
We need to increase. I said this at a CII AI
Yes.
policy summit also. India needs to have infrastructure for budgets. You see what has happened. And this I had predicted around 6 months back at a CII conference, saying that although we are talking about policy, we are talking about changes, the rules, deployment. What if Trump suddenly says that no ChatGPT, no Gemini, no Claude can be given outside US? All the networks, every one of us using these facilities suddenly cut off. Imagine we are still at a age that we just migrated. The children, the teenagers were using the rampantly. Imagine the cutoff. What can it be? We need a sovereign AI, LLM model, and this needs to be built at an infrastructure level. Data centers are coming in. Government is focused. The AI summit that you saw is one of the most interesting milestone that we have.
Yes, correct.
And just before the summit, if you recall, the 7 days before the summit, a few AI rules were also done. That's the way of government thinking. After the summit, people should not go left, right, and center and deploy AI. But now, what one of the interesting rules is, if you generate AI content, you need to tag it saying this is AI generated. So you understand this is not a false AI or face cloning that is happening right now. So yes, government needs to. It's an alert that's happening everywhere, and suddenly with Mythos looking at vulnerabilities, we were all happy. We have now just been selected as a cloud partner network.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, and we were now looking at having talks of getting the Glasswing project where we could have access. But suddenly the Fable 5 came and they pulled off the plug.
Yes.
Into security. So this not only takes us back into ages, but at the same time, it actually they are not stopping the attacker, they're stopping the defender.
Correct.
Yeah, from actually growing into this. And let's see how it goes.
Right. You very rightly put out the sovereignty part. Like it reminds me of just to slightly digress the Microsoft case that happened with Naira Tech, Naira Tech. That was completely very different eye opener for most of the local enterprises where overnight they actually squeezed the last bit out of Naira, and then they had to take the legal recourse and all. So it's very much paramount of importance that we have a local in.
And that's how, but this is how we evolved, right?
Yes.
What happened in Naira? Zoho came in.
Exactly.
Entire government is shifted to Zoho.
Correct.
Would not have been an eye opener if one skip was not
done.
And this is how it will change. And
but that is the way forward, and I think you guys are also on the right track. So as I mentioned that also, what has been the journey, 63 SATS, as a evolution, it's one of the fastest growing companies, and there is also CyberX product, version 2 also is being talked about. There is Cybersecurity Force that is being talked about, Cyberdome that is being talked about. So there was a gestation to where we stand, you're covering the entire gamut of things with the plethora of solutions catering to very very specific requirements in an enterprise to a last mile customer. So if you could share a few highlights in that journey, some learnings also, which would be
right. Just 63SATS Cybertech is a 2-year-old company. We were protecting security teams were protecting all the global exchanges that we launched. I am with this company for 18 years, and we took care of security of our exchanges like MCX, IEX, Bahrain Financial Exchange, Dubai Gold Commodity Exchange, right here from this Singapore Mercantile Exchange, right here from this building. We have a very large SOC that we have, and we never had a single breach. Yeah, we faced millions of attacks from our neighbors, but we never had a breach. So we were very strong on what we deliver. At the same time, you see our flagship product, Odin. Yes. More than 20 lakh licenses. There is not a pirated copy of the software, nor there has been a wrong entry or someone cracked into the software. So the security is the DNA of 63 News Technologies on what we deploy and how we protect. So internally is Odin that we see, what we develop. Externally is also external team products. So with that, post-COVID, when we saw a large number of cyber attacks increasing, our mentor and coach, Mr. Jinesh Shah, he said, yeah, this is the time that we now need to protect Indian companies. So that's how we started 63SATS. So the satellites of 63 News protect our users wherever they go globally. Right. And this is how we started. And then we say we decided onto CSF, that is our division for enterprise and SMEs. Yes. We have Cyberdome, which is for critical infrastructure. We take care of, it's very unique, military grade hardware engineering, not usually sold in enterprises. And this, it's available, but not usually. Like GPS spoofing comes under that. Right. Air gap networks comes into that. But at the same time, he also thought that unless the common man is protected from the Zamtara type of attack, we are truly not a company. So we need to be a 360-degree company. That's where his vision came in, and we discussed and we looked at everywhere. There was not a single product like Cybex available, and that's when we had to roll up our sleeves and actually develop Cybex. And with Cybex coming in, we do protect a cell phone. People think iOS is safe. iOS and Android, 100 plus threats. Man in the middle attack, rogue Wi-Fi, Bluetooth jacking, jailbroken phones, site-loaded apps, so many of them. And with this protection, we not only did that, we secure calling also. We saw that there was privacy left in any communication. We had secure calling. We have QR code scanners, which are now actually announced. You scan a QR code, who the QR code listens to. And to top it all, because still people falter, they still give the OTP out. We said it should be backed by cyber insurance. And that's where we partnered with ICICI Lombard. And we have for all types from 10,000 to 10 lakh rupees, we actually insure a user for online shopping, wow, theft of funds, theft of identity, cyberbullying, and even the copyright infringement on cyberbullying. So all this coming together in a very, very attractive package for the common man, the highest industrialist can afford this complete. So Cybex actually becomes the, and from an enterprise point of view, if you see security, if you are an enterprise user, you are working in a corporate, you are entering into the corporate via your cell phones. Right. Yeah. Very few people now carry laptops. Most of the work is done on the cell phones. If that is compromised, your personal phones, your photos, your messages, contacts, anything compromised, it's going to be a big hit if it is done intentionally. Correctly. So we see 63SATS as a complete 360-degree cybersecurity company, which caters to all sectors of society. Right. So when it comes, like you mentioned, the enterprise security also. So if you could highlight certain new products that you are working on, you can, if you are in a position to share, and some trends also, 2 or 3 trends that our audience should listen out to. Well, CyberOps is our CyberOps is our IT engine, which is now getting developed, and the more we look into it, or for specific industry or specific targeted area, new ideas are coming in, and we are now looking at using the same engine for different things. So we are like Michelin star chefs, we call. We have the right ingredients, and at the same time, looking at the palette of the customer, we put in and make a Michelin star dish. So every solution that we do is a customized solution. It is not one fits all. It has to go through the assessment cycle. We have to understand what is your security exposure that you're having in the market. We have to understand your business requirements. Right. What would affect your business directly, and then scale your security towards that. It's not only patching your VAPT servers, not doing. If you don't have the larger idea or the scale where the CEO or your MD looks into or the chairman looks into, then you're not doing justice. You need to a business where it would be hit. Correct. Let's say we had one customer which came to us on a ransomware attack, and they actually crippled the entire organization. completely crippled. We had to do a rescue on that. So we work on a lot of areas. IP or the AI ops is our unique story on this. We have large clients which have subscribed and they say this is wow. But we have Cybex version 2 is outstanding. You should try it out. We are developing.
I'm really considering that.
Yes.
Yes.
But then we will come with family packs also. Because protecting your children is most important in today's world.
I agree. So, going towards the end of our conversation, one question which I had wanted to start, ask from the start, you're donning three hats. You're the managing director, you're the CEO, you're the CIO, and every job role comes with a specific set of responsibilities. How do you balance this?
This again is the brainchild idea of Mr. Shah. And he said when we started 63SATS, he said we could take any sales marketing head, make a CEO. He said he wants a tech CEO. Tech CEO is what he wanted because in future, if you see going forward, we'll have technical CEOs more because AI comes in, security comes in, business. You want someone who understands technology at the same time this. And in the first 1 year that we grew, the growth has been substantial. To own both the hats, and the market is very rare. I'm assisted with my colleague Srinivas. He's a joint MD and joint CEOs who looks after finance, sales, I look after technology and networking and connections. And this is how we balance the scale. And we have a very large window to do that. And I'm also the CIO, virtual CISO for the 63 Moons group.
Okay.
I conduct the audit internally. I play that role so that the entire group is also at the same time secure.
How do you balance the time?
Well, that is something. Early morning, I wake up at 4:30.
Right.
And that's how your day starts. The first couple of hours, you are actually sorted for the day. Right? And that is, we call it the Brahma Muhurat. Yeah, and a lot of things get done during that. You will be surprised what cannot happen in 4 hours is actually done in 2 hours for the day. You sort out the work there, and then you have meetings like for the day that you carry forward.
Right.
But actual work happens during those 2 hours.
So early bird here.
Yes, I can.
Right. So just one last question to you, sir. When it comes to the ever-evolving cybersecurity landscape, how do you see it evolving in the next 1 or 2 years? And adding to it, what role will India play in the global game of the entire cybersecurity solutions?
I'll answer the second question first. So Indians are playing a very large role globally. Yeah. Sitting in different countries and yes. India is getting up. India has been predominantly, you see, body shopping done by large organizations, sending skills, manpower for that. But real innovation and IP creation is something that 63 Moons does. And this is what is going to be the change to the world. Everything that is created here by us out here, and then we operate not only for the country and that for the entire globe. That's what we did in our exchange story, right? We started with MCX, and the next exchange after 10 years for BGCX. We started. So you do it here, make it at scale, and then you take it out.
Right. And what about some trends that we should keep in mind?
Wow, that is something that you need Nostradamus to tell you. Actually, every day there is something new which comes in.
Right.
And it's very difficult to actually look at. You have a certain area that you can look at. AI is one thing. And the new models which keep coming in, suddenly we'll see that you have been focusing on something and next 3 months down the line, a new technology pops up. Quantum technology is something that everyone's talking about, and they're reducing the speed. Microsoft launched new processor, which is getting that speed closer to us. We are looking at quantum, studying that, and because we can't test it, right?
Right.
We can design by mathematics the algorithm that is quantum proof. But for testing, you will actually need quantum servers to do that. So let's wait for those breakthroughs to come in.
Maybe 2, 3, 5. The discussion when we started, it was 10 years. Then it became 8. Now it is 5. Now people are saying 2 to 3 years. So I think maybe by the year ends,
I think we should meet every year.
yes, yes, correct. So thank you for your valuable insights, sir, and thank you for your time. It was a pleasure hosting you today.
Thank you, Prashant. Pleasure was all mine. Thank you.